Oh my goodness, welcome to the most random time we have ever had. A Right Show Live. If you don't know what the Right Show Live is, it is not the Jimmy Fallon Show, it is not the Jimmy Kimmel Show, it's not the Jimmy Ellen Show, the Jimmy Corden Show, or the Jimmy Oprah Show, and it certainly is not the Tonight Show. You're watching The Right Show. You came to the right place at the right time. We're not going to Stephen bore you to death, and you're not going to have a bunch of Trevor no laughs. You're going to have a great time as we talk about real topics and make fun of the people that need to get make fun of. No holds barred, not PC. This is all going down on an Apple MacBook. Thank you. I don't have a set time I do this show. I do this show whenever I can because I'm a touring comedian. However, I usually go at 7 p.m. on Wednesday nights. Podcasters, if you're listening, right now it is 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, Pacific Standard Time. Many of you are saying, Kvon, I work at that time. Why did you do this to me? Folks, it's not all about you. I have fans in Australia, in India, in Vietnam, in the Philippines, all over the world. So, please put in the comments how many lives you've ever seen, where you are in the world, and what time is it there. You might say, Kvon, I am in Madagascar, and this is the first time I've ever seen you live, and it's 3 p.m. I love it. Whatever it is, this will tell me if we have any first-timers because I picked a very weird and random time. I want everybody to make sure they visit the podcast, The Right Show with Kvon, and subscribe. It's very easy. It's on all the major platforms. And a little celebration, we have now hit 307,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I love going back to old episodes of my podcast and seeing the numbers because someone's going to watch this. It's going to be the year 2023, and they're going to be like, oh my goodness, he used to only have 307,000 subscribers. I'm watching this now, and he has 1 million. What do you know? So this is a timestamp we just put on the show. All right, I'm going to highlight where some of my fans are in the world, what time it is. We got some Nebraskans over here. Okay. We have some Texans in the house. Because of the weird time, Milton Man says, This is the first live you've ever caught. Welcome, Milton, man. We got Illinois in the house, and we got a lot of first-timers. Delaware in the house. Okay, great. So everyone that is watching this live, you're enjoying. Podcasters, if you're just listening, look for the link if you want to see what we're seeing, because I'm about to show you guys something fun. Before I show you something fun, I want to remind everyone here that there was no widespread election fraud, as they keep telling us. Have you noticed the media keeps saying, just so you know, there was no widespread? They've never once said there was absolutely no election fraud. Because they know there was election fraud, but they said there's no proof of any widespread election fraud. Look through that, look through the language they're using, and remind yourself, if they keep telling you there was no widespread election fraud, that means there was election fraud. Do we know that? Here's one thing there wasn't. There was never an insurrection at the Capitol. Now, you're going to hear that and go, Kvon, what are you talking about? The media every day says there was a big insurrection at the Capitol. There was never, listen to me, an insurrection at the Capitol. Because there was no plan to take over the United States with the frat party that happened at the Capitol. If you called it a frat party at the Capitol, I'd say, yeah, I saw there was a frat party. If you say there was a costume party, yes, there was a costume party. There was a protest at the Capitol, absolutely. And there was a walkthrough of the Capitol. And there was a demonstration at the Capitol. But one thing there never was is the one thing the media keeps saying there was, which is a violent coup attempt, insurrection at the Capitol. That never happened. There were no plans on what to do. If you take over the Capitol, you do not run America. That is not how this government isn't kind of like a mono society where if you take over the Capitol building, you now control Nebraska, Delaware. You're calling the shots. Even if they were to capture Nancy Pelosi, if that was the goal, which it wasn't, and AOC, who wasn't even there, as she trembled in fear at the insurrection that never happened, as she was 2 blocks away in a different building with armed guards. An insurrection is listed, and I will share with you so we can all get on the same page. Sharing my screen. I want to give you the official definition of an insurrection. Okay, we go here, share the screen, you can see what I see. An insurrection is a violent, and maybe you can see this, maybe you can't, I'll read it. A violent uprising against an authority or government. A violent uprising, a rebellion, also known as a revolt, or a mutiny, or a revolution. Do you think the man with the bullhorns taking selfies had deep, dark, dastardly plans to have a violent uprising as he peacefully walked through the Capitol and then slowly left, and within 4 hours the whole Capitol was back to voting? Anyone who's been from an immigrant country that's been through a revolution knows there's blood, there's chaos, there's hostages, there's negotiations, there's political unrest, and in the end, either there's snipers and a lot of people are murdered, or, remember, or they actually take over the government. Look at Iran circa 1979. Students, different armed men, and the Arab Muslim interest groups took over Iran. It is no longer, they're not voting there anymore with the same group of clowns that was in office. But we in America have the same group of clowns in office. Is what I'm telling you the first time you're hearing this? If so, you need to subscribe on The Right Show. In fact, there was no insurrection at the Capitol on January 7th. There was a walkthrough, a frat party, a costume party, a demonstration, and a protest, but there was no violent, radical coup or insurrection. I can prove it. The only one who died walking through the Capitol was an unarmed white woman. And the only person who killed the unarmed white woman without warning, without a warning shot, without trying to tackle her first, without making any attempt to do any of the things the radical left says should be done. Wing her, Biden says, you should wing him. You shoot him in the leg. I saw that once on a Dirty Harry movie. Shoot him in the leg. The only one who shot anyone was an armed black police officer, according to all reports. Armed Capitol Guards, police officer, law enforcement, shot the unarmed white woman. There's been no case. Nobody is chanting her name. Nobody is begging you to say her name. Black Lives Matter is uninterested, completely uninterested in the unarmed woman shot by the black police officer. I'm going to check the comments and see if this is the first time you are hearing this. Charcoal Men says, right? Who was the organizer of this uprising? Who was the planned, installed political leader of this uprising? Where were all the weapons? Beth Coddington says this was more like an art gallery grand opening. Here we have someone saying insurrection, according to Democrats, is when Republicans gather. And someone that knows our history said an insurrection is when scaffolding is brought up to the Capitol and heads are chopped off, like in France. Did any of that happen? Do you recall seeing any of that in the media? Or do you only remember the unarmed white woman shot by the armed policeman who did not try to stop her any other way, and we don't know his name, and there's no trial? Answer that in the comments. We'll be back. It's time to kick off The Right Show. That is how a real show should be kicked off. That is why I'm better than any late-night TV host. And if you don't believe me, just follow my career and follow my laughs. This career has brought me to Chicago. I promised you I'd show you something cool. This is my office for today. I want to see. I've never tried this. Check out my office. And this is what it could be like if you become a famous half-Persian comedian. You get a cool hotel, you hang with your friends, and you can still run your business from the comfort of your hotel room. Now, the Wi-Fi is probably not very good, so I'm going to apologize to you. But this is some of my fans' first time ever getting a glimpse of Chicago from 40 floors up. So there you have it. All right, it is time to get into something very interesting. While in Chicago, comedian I tour with is a big foodie. Do you know what a foodie is? A foodie? I'll tell you what. If you're a foodie, you're probably not a nudie. The two do not go hand in hand. You got to pick one. You're going to be a foodie or a nudie. Because when you eat too much food, let me tell you, it tastes delicious, but nobody wants to see you on the streets of Barcelona topless. That's how you have to speak if you're going to do Spanish. You have to do the streets of Barcelona and the beaches where you are topless. However, we went to Al's famous Italian beef in Chicago. I highly recommend anyone who likes Italian French dip style subs, I guess Italian dip, dip it, eat it, delicious. My opening act had dessert. But I'm looking on the menu. There's no dessert items anywhere on the menu. I'm like, where did you find that? He goes, I loved it. I just got some dessert. I want to show you what happened. Enjoy. Look, we came to a place called Al's in Chicago. This is Justin. Are you a foodie? He's a self-described foodie. My first time here, so I'm looking on the menu at the different items. Okay. We sit down and this fool has dessert. I'm like, yo, where did you find dessert? Where was it? Dude, where it was supposed to be. The dessert is way over there. I didn't even see it. He's like the menu whisperer. He sees a menu like the Matrix, goes, I feel there's dessert here. Cheesecake, ice cream. How did you see that, dude?
I have fat eyes, bro.
That is the type of fun we have on the road. And yeah, he could just feel there was dessert in that restaurant. And of course, I could not. All right, it is now time to get into some very important items. First of all, the comment of the week. By the way, tell me if my volume, my connection is doing okay. Because I'm in a really bad hotel. I mean, it's a beautiful hotel, but, you know, and I'm not too confident with that. But we're going to find out exactly what the comment of the week was. And I decided to do 2. Can you believe that? 2 comments of the week. The first, I will read to you for my podcasters. The rest of you can read it yourself. Goes a little something like this. Kvon, we can't thank you enough for your show. We'll be watching and donating. Hope you come somewhere close again. We'd even go a state or 2 over just to see you again. Haven't laughed that hard in ages. And we have a photo of the entire crowd there with a woohoo. Oh, woohoo. So that was such a nice message, and what a treat to go to Minneapolis. They said it couldn't be done. They said don't go there. They said you're going to get killed, Kvon. They said it's not safe. We had the best time ever in Minneapolis. The reason there's 2 comments of the week is because our show in Minneapolis was almost canceled. Not by me, but by a radical leftist. So when you hear me making fun of radical leftists, you have to understand we are mortal enemies. They try their best to end my comedy career at any given opportunity. I will read to you this quote and then tell you what happened. The guy I'm about to read to you wanted so bad to announce his group at my comedy show so he could get more fans. He then turned on me. He turned on me when he found a video that I made on YouTube 6 months ago that has black people talking about how they don't feel there's racism in America, and they believe if you work hard in America, you can reach great heights. A black group of speakers that I assembled. I didn't make up their words. They spoke freely from their own mind. A group of about 27 black, African American, or just regular American speakers. I like to call them regular American. I think the whole African American has ruined everything in our country because it means you're a hyphenate, and they're not. Most of them can't even point to Africa on a map. They don't know any countries in Africa. They can't name a city in Africa. They don't know the capital of Kenya or Ethiopia, Madagascar, or Libya, but they do want to tell you that they're African American. I don't get it. I call them American. I guess that makes me the racist, according to the left. Okay. Here's what the gentleman said. I saw your video about those black people speaking, and now I don't want you to come to Minnesota. Let me show you his initial email when he heard I was coming to Minneapolis. Kvon, I would love to represent the Twin Cities Iranian Cultural Collective and make a brief announcement about our Twin Cities Iranian Cultural Festival at your show. The Twin Cities Iranian Cultural Collective is a non-religious, non-political, non-profit organization. Our mission is to share Iran's rich heritage. Can I please come and do your show and make an announcement? Now, I don't know this guy. Never met him in my life, but I am a community player. I'm coming to your town. So out of respect to him, I said, you can have 1 minute before I take the stage to announce what your group is, what you do, and when your next event is, so you can invite the community. He goes, cool, can I have some free tickets? Look, man, I'm an out-of-work comedian from a year of a pandemic. The theater is an out-of-work theater after a year of BLM. Yes, you can have 2 free tickets, but please invite your members to pay for a ticket and support the community. Okay, I'll take the 2 free tickets. He can speak on my platform. He can have 2 free tickets. Then he sees a video I made assembling black people talking, and he wrote the theater owner and said, I will not be coming. I do not want to go on that stage, and I am surprised you should not have this show in this community. It's his right to make this video, but it is not mandatory you platform such a horrible racist. I'm racist for showing a video of black people talking about their experience in America. That is the radical left for you. Thought I would share it with you. Now you know who your enemy is. Support me. Get rid of the cancel culture dummies. We play nice. They play dirty. Now you know. We'll be back with the next segment. Catching up on some comments. Sona Chris says, Kvon, don't be nice to these people. Kathy says, what a snake. And we all know you bring a snake in from the cold, you thaw it off, and it bites you. And you go, why? And it says, you knew I was a snake, you stupid woman, when you brought me in. B. Bobs says, the left is completely evil. And Rob says, let's move on. That was an awesome video I saw earlier. And you're absolutely right. We're not going to dwell. The radical left dwells and hates. We move on and we create. That's what we're doing. So, I want to say thank you, Minnesota, for having me. And I will tell you, a lot of people told me don't visit Minneapolis. I am glad I did. We had the packed shows in Minneapolis, and I was able to do a man-on-the-street interview with the people of Minneapolis, many of them proudly supporting BLM, believing that Black Lives Matter in their mind. But when it came down to it, they know nothing about black culture. They know nothing about famous black people. All they know are black criminals. And not black criminals who kill the black criminal. They only know black criminals who have been killed by a white police officer or security guard. How sad is that? They couldn't name a CEO. They couldn't name a sports star other than LeBron. They couldn't name a singer, a pioneer, an inventor, a cowboy. They can't name anything about black. There's a George Floyd sleeping under their local bridge or overpass. They won't go talk to that guy. But they love to project how much they love George Floyd now that he's gone. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, and it's going to blow your mind. Kvon goes man on the street in Floyd World. That's what they want to rename Minneapolis to, Floyd World. They already have George Floyd Day, George Floyd Square, George Floyd Plaza, and now they want to call it Floyd World. Let's go to Floyd World. Hey everybody, we're here in Minneapolis, aka Floyd World, and we're going to find out what the people in this community know about Black lives. We have a whole list of questions, and we're going to see who can answer them perfectly for the chance to win cash prizes. Oh, your name, sir?
Kimo.
Kimo. Has there ever been a black astronaut? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, you got one right. All right, here we go.
That's it.
No, it's like 10 questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
10 questions for $2?
Yeah. Ah, that's easy money. Yes or no? Has there ever been a black astronaut?
Yes.
Name one.
I don't know his name.
And a black astronaut. Has there ever been a black female astronaut?
Yes.
I'll guess no.
No? What's her name if you think there was one?
I don't know.
What do you think her name should be?
I don't know.
Buzzina Lightyear. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you name a black CEO?
Herman Cain?
Herman Cain. Damn. Are you black? Okay.
Sometimes.
Black CEO of a big company.
Oh, isn't who is?
Kanye?
Yeah. I guess. That was cute.
Yeah, I mean that's Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry Productions.
I'll tell you, the head of Merck, the head of TIAA Bank and Lowe's, and the head of Xerox and McDonald's in the last 10 years. How about this? Answer 4 more questions. You get $2. All right. Name a black Supreme Court justice. Justice, the top of the legal system.
Dude.
Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
The top.
The top.
Name a Supreme Court judge who's black.
I don't know.
There's been 2.
I can't either.
These are important people in the community.
They are.
Do you believe their life matters?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Thurgood, Clarence, first black guy to ever win president.
I don't know that.
Barack. Name the black president. I'll give you a hint. His first name is Barack. Name a black male billionaire.
What's the
You got another one?
Overbrain.
No.
Name a black billionaire.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama? He's not there yet. Name a really rich person. Yeah, it's hard. You want to phone a friend? I'm your friend.
Yeah.
He goes by Yeezy. Yeezy.
What?
Yeezy. Or Con.
Hold on.
Floyd, man.
Con. Not Con no, but Con.
What?
Name a baseball player. That's tough. Has there ever been a black female billionaire?
Yeah.
Name one.
Kylie Jenner.
She's black by injection.
Oh shit. She's black, dude.
No, that's not a black one. You don't win the $2 that way.
Yo, Kylie Jenner counts, man.
Final lightning round. Who said this famous quote? We should be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin.
Martin Luther King.
That's right.
There we go.
Character, not the color of our skin.
Martin Luther King
Yep.
Jr.
Who said, I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop.
I don't know.
I failed over and over in my life, and that is why I succeed.
Those are lyrics?
No, it's not lyrics, just a quote.
Oh. I don't know.
Michael.
Mike Jackson? Tyson.
That's so racist, bro. They're not all the same.
I thought this was black people.
Yeah, it is a black person, but not all blacks are the same. This guy has a bald head.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah! If a boy doesn't have a father in the home, he will find one in the streets.
I don't know that one.
Famous actor. I'll do it. Let me do my impression. If a boy does not find a father in the home, he will find one in the streets.
That just sounded the same to me.
That was Denzel Washington.
That was not Denzel.
You think that we can truly make change as things are right now?
If a boy does not find a father in the home, he will find one in the
father
streets. Name a football player. How about this? It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two senators who built their reputations and career on segregation of race in this country. Who said that? Who built their reputation on segregation in our country?
No clue.
Careers on segregation, right? Dude, I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Kamala Harris said that.
Okay.
But who did she say it to? She
Trump.
was no.
Trump.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
Name somebody who's been killed by the police.
George Floyd.
Yeah, you got it. Name someone who's been killed by the police.
George Floyd.
Yep. Name a black guy who died. Any black guy who died.
Okay, George Floyd.
Name someone killed by a police officer. Philando Castile. Name another black person killed by a police officer. Trayvon Martin. Name a rapper whose life was saved by a police officer. A rapper. And since there's two of you, that's your $2. Oh, we learned a lot there. Now, first of all, let's talk about my Denzel Washington impression, okay? All right, okay. Now, a lot of people they say they don't hear Denzel, but let me tell you something, okay? All right. You don't hear Denzel. You don't hear Denzel when I'm speaking, okay? All right. Maybe you don't. But maybe if you listened a little harder, you would. Maybe you would hear it if you listened a little bit harder. Maybe you're not the one that's having the problem. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's you. I don't know which one it is, okay? But I'm King Kong in this. I don't know. All right, okay, I'm still working on it, but I will get it eventually. All right, if I'm not careful, it turns into Tony Montana. We don't want it to go there, man. You don't want it to turn into Tony Montana. But what I do with Denzel is I get up here and I... All right, let's leave that alone before I lose all my fans. Folks, when I go on tour, it gets crazy. Come see me in my next cities. Wow, these cities aren't even available yet. Let's change this up a little bit. Unbelievable. The only ones left are Cincinnati, okay, and Laughlin. Wow, the tour is almost over. Then I start up again in a month. But I'm going to give away 2 free tickets to Cincinnati if you guys will reach out to your friends and tell them. Now, I'm not going to give it to a couple. I want to give 1 ticket to each group. That means a husband gets the free ticket, brings his lovely wife, pays for a ticket, supports the comedy club. Or a brother gets the ticket, buys a ticket for his sister. So I'm giving 2 free tickets to two different groups of people. will get one free ticket to Laughlin and Cincinnati. Does that make sense? Don't be selfish. Support comedians and the local theaters. We're emerging from a pandemic. If my tour does not bring me to your city, don't fret. You can put on your own comedy show. I will come to you, whether it's a beauty parlor. I've done a show there before. If it's a backyard, if it's a front yard, a garage, living room, beautiful outdoor venue, or a large theater, we can make it happen. Other updates, I finished filming a late night show. The late night show is coming soon. It is going to be fun, and I'm interviewing different people, celebrities. It's kind of like Jay Leno on a huge budget. It's a HalfPersian Jay Leno, less than half the budget. And when we return, it's time to go over a few terms and definitions, and of course, we have to know the difference between a leftist and a conservative. So put what you think the difference between a leftist and a conservative is in the comments, so I can highlight the best ones. Be right back. Terms and definitions. When you watch this show, you need the inside look, the legend of how the show works. First one is SNL. A lot of people think SNL is Saturday Night Live. No, SNL is Sorry, Not Laughing. A lot of people think BLM is Black Lives Matter. No, it's Burn, Loot, Murder. If named aptly, that is what they do. If I name my group We All Love Puppies, you would not have to join my group, the We All Love Puppies group, if what we did was rob Targets and burn down cities. The We All Love Puppies group name no longer matters. It now becomes the We Burn Down Cities group, and we pretend to love puppies. Make sense? And the final one, WAP, is Wrong Ass President. Okay? It's no longer a disgusting song where the girl is rolling all over the floor trying to leave a snail trail across the dance floor, making you stick when you try to do the moonwalk. WAP means Wrong Ass President in my world. And the final one, my shirt represents it. Are you pro LGBTQ? Are you pro let's get Biden to quit? That's what I want to know. That is the new merchandise line I have that has already sold 3,000 items in 3 months. So I want you to visit my website, go to the shop, and get your pro LGBTQ merchandise. Did you know that you can throw a tip in the bucket and I'll highlight your name on the chat? We had Beth Coddington, who went ahead and threw $50 in because she had so much fun on her anniversary at the comedy show in Minneapolis. So thank you, Beth. And as that wasn't enough, she then went and threw another $20 in the tip bucket, keeping comedians alive even when the radical left does not want us to work. Thank you, Beth. And if I miss you, it's because sometimes it goes away too fast and I didn't catch it, but you are appreciated. Now, conservatives versus leftists. I challenge you to see what you thought the definition is. Milton Mann says, the left have big hearts, but conservatives have big brains. Interesting. Interesting. Someone else said, way to go, Beth. I'm looking up the next one. The left is ignorant. The conservative is not. Someone else said, the left believes in indoctrination. Conservatives believe in the Constitution. Those were fantastic. Thank you for playing along. All worth listening to. I'm going to give you mine. The difference between conservatives and leftists. Each week I try to think of a new one. It's challenging but fun to try to summarize it into a quick sentence. Here is this week's leftist versus conservative. Conservatives think that welfare should be a safety net to protect you in case things go wrong. Wouldn't it be nice to know if you're on the high wire, working hard in America, that if you do happen to stumble, you hit a safety net? It's not going to feel great. It's not going to be ultimately desirable to fall. We hope you don't. But there's a safety net, a bare minimum safety net in America. The left believes welfare should be a hammock. A hammock you can just kick back. They give you an income just for existing. Oop, you've been drinking and doing too much drugs on your days off. Your welfare checks have been coming in, so you've had too much fatty food. So now you have a heart problem and maybe a medical issue, so you need free medical care. Oh, and this house isn't nice enough. I saw some rich people living in much better properties. I demand better living arrangements. Because I am in the hammock of leftism. If you agree, put it in the comments. We'll be right back with a Kamala Harris update. If you don't know, Kamala Harris has been kind of hiding behind pillars, watching Joe Biden speak, hoping he collapses. She got rid of his German Shepherd, so his frontline defense is gone. Then he's suddenly falling up and down stairs. Pretty sure she put some grease on the bottom of his shoes, but I can't prove any of this. What I can prove is Kamala Harris called Joe Biden, in so many words, a very hurtful man for coddling racists and segregationists and speaking highly of them. And there was a girl who almost didn't go to school, and that girl was me. All lies. She comes from a family in Jamaica that, rumor has it, owned slaves. She is not a African American, never been to Africa, has nothing to do with it. She's never even been to the border, so she's not a border American. She is just a woman who uses her color as a shield and as a sword to try to attack you with, then hide behind. That's why a guy like me, the most famous half-Persian, half-Mexican, half-black comedian, is just putting on armor to go toe-to-toe with the hoe. With that said, after she called Joe Biden a racist, Joe Biden was in a tough spot. He had to pick somebody that looked kind of black to be on his ticket. He had to go with the camel hoe. She then had to get a facelift because she knew she's going to be on TV a lot more once the election went their way. Somehow she knew the election was going to go their way. She needed her facelift. So Kamala Harris went and got a really gross facelift about a year ago today. What she didn't know is Congressman Joe Lewis was going to die. He is the oldest congressman. He'd been there forever. He was a legend. So they had to drag Kamala out of her recovery room to speak on camera. A lot of you missed this. The media hid this from you. If Donald Trump got a disgusting facelift and tried to go on TV, they would be mocking him every single day of the week for the next decade. But because Kamala did it, you've never seen this footage. If you saw it once, they hid it. We're going to show you a year ago today when Kamala had her botched facelift and got dragged out early to talk to the cameras about Joe Lewis. It was a mess. John Lewis. John.
He was a living saint, and now he will be obviously among our most honored ancestors. He was, the quiet conversations that we would have.
This is where things get interesting. Trump gets corona, but then he beats corona, gets the point right back.
One thing with me, the nice part, I went through it. Now they say I'm immune. I feel so powerful. I'll walk into that audience. I'll walk in there, I'll kiss everyone in that audience. No, but there is something nice. I don't have to be locked up in my basement, and I wouldn't allow that to happen anyway.
President Trump has been making some pretty misleading statements about his health, including claiming that he is now immune from this coronavirus, which the CDC warns people who have recovered from the virus not to assume.
If he means that he's been infected, and having been infected and recovered, that he will not get infected again, that's true. The fact that he has recovered from an immunological standpoint, he has an immune response in him that very likely would protect him from being reinfected.
He was a living saint, and now he will be obviously among our most honored ancestors. He was, the quiet conversations that we would have. He was a living saint, and now...
I just wanted you to have nightmares, so I made you look at the Joker mask 3 times in a row. Did you like what I did there? That's what you get. If I have to see it and edit it and get it down to 1 minute, you do too. One more time just for your kids' nightmare.
He was a living saint, and now he will be obviously among our most honored ancestors. He was, the quiet conversations that we would have.
You can tell she never even really met him. Oh, the quiet conversations we would have. We just had so many quiet little conversations. I can't tell you any of them. She sounds worse than LeBron James trying to describe what's on page 10 of any book he's been reading for a year. And that's with the book in his hand. Let's go to the comments. A lot of people laughing. Pretty sure she's wearing a Scooby-Doo mask. That's a great point. LOL. Why are her eyes black? My podcasters, you're going to have to go and watch this one live. There's just too many great comments. And this is not a racial thing. We have black fans, white fans. We just don't like really bad politicians. And if you were scared by Kamala, please put it in the comments so that I know I'm not the only one. I don't want to be called Kamala-phobic. Someone called me cruel, but I never said I'd be nice. And nobody ever called Stephen Colbert or Trevor No Laughs cruel for making fun of Donald Trump. All right, we've come to the end of our show. Thank you for joining me. I can't believe we did this live from Chicago. One more time, I'm going to show you. I don't get this view every day, so I want to respect it. That hotel right over there is called Trump Tower. So we're going to go there and have some cocktails, give them a bunch of business. Make everyone. I love that American flag to the right. You can't really see it because of the glare, but there's an American flag over there. And we had a blast in Minneapolis, Chicago. Bring me to your town. Get on the local comedy club and say he's going to pack out the whole place. So why aren't you bringing him? You have to apply pressure if you want the kind of art that represents America to come to your town. I'm a comedian / artist / businessman / HalfPersian. They don't know what to do with me. They better just open the doors to me, give me one night in your town, and let's laugh. Speaking of one night in your town, did you know Mormons are doing graffiti now? I couldn't believe it myself. I said, how mad are the Mormons in Minneapolis? They ended up spraying this on the wall. I think this is like a Mormon graffiti artist. I don't know if you could read that, but it said Buck, Frump, and I don't know what it said. Let's watch it one more time. It was so quick I couldn't even see it. I think this is like a Mormon. Tuck Frump and Buck Fiden. Remember that. I grew up with a lot of LDS people, went to high school with them, best friends. They learned how to cleverly cuss without ever saying a bad word. Buck Fiden and I think this is like a Tuck Frump. That was pretty hardcore, man. You might have to apologize to get into heaven on that one. Folks, did you like the show? Did you have a few laughs? Did you enjoy the right show at the weird time? I hope so. Put it in the comments. I don't just end the show. I highlight your comments long after I say goodbye. No other show will do that. No other late show cares about you. And technically today it's an early show. But I do. Interacting with you has been amazing, and I've been meeting a lot of you on the road. Look for tour dates on kvon.tv. That's my website. Pick up the merch. Become pro-LGBTQ long after Pride Week is over, and get your Let's Get Biden to Quit items. And remember, we do truth through comedy. Thank you all for the donations. We had plenty of people throwing a little tip money in the bucket. We have no corporate sponsors, no big brands following us, sponsoring us. It's just us. That's why we bring justice. Make a one-time donation on GoFundMe.com/KvonComedy. You can see all the different Patreons and locals who have joined. That means they subscribe to me. They don't have to, but they pay $4 a month, $10, $5, $40 a month just because I'm making all this content, and this is now my job. Doing the journalism the radical left refuses to do. Asking people man on the street stuff. And I'm giving the money you give me, I'm giving away. Someone said, that was $2, man. Okay, keep the money coming. We'll do $10 to everyone who answers my questions. We're here to have more and more fun. And every live show I go to, I give away 5 merchandise items for free to the people who sit in the front row. I just start throwing them out. So that's your chances. Hey, we have $100 and more donations. Mr. Sneeringer came in with a $500 donation this week. That is a huge thank you. And I want to make sure you get a big cha-ching. Jay Crowfoot came in with $250, and anonymous donors as well that don't want to be named so they don't lose their job at their leftist.com companies. Looking down below, we have the $50 donors. J. Orr E. Brooks, J. Thomas L. Stefan, D. Batcher, or Baker, and M. Vlatas, plus many more anonymouses. And if you don't want to use Patreon, Locals, or GoFundMe, here's what you do. You go on the Cash App, $ KvonComedy, or Venmo at Kvon-KVON. This show is over. I'm going to highlight your comments. Stick around. We party for another 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you for watching The Right Show, and I'll see you on tour. Bye, everybody. Wave goodbye. How come I'm the only one waving? Wave goodbye. There you go.
Please hang up and try again.